Hey guys, Vern here with the Hack Check podcast. Just got done watching UFC 293 and wow, I did not expect that. That has got to be the biggest upset in UFC history. Sean Strickland winning 4 rounds to 1, 49-46 versus Israel Adesanya, who, by the way, was a 670 minus 675 favorite for this fight. I mean, it's just incredible. The sport is so unpredictable. You think you know things in the sport and it just shocks you every single time. That's why MMA is the best sport in the world. Sean Strickland, I mean, congratulations, man. Nobody gave you a chance, including myself. Jack, actually on Chokes and Eye Pokes, our weekly MMA talk show, there's a link in the description, said on Thursday, he was like leaning towards Strickland. Something was telling him, and I was like, dude, just if you say Strickland, you got to bet Strickland. And then he ended up going with Izzy at the last minute. But, I mean, round one, fairly even. Strickland pressuring him like he always does. Drops him with a straight right, and my heart sank. I thought, this is it. He's going to shock the world right here. Swarmed him with punches. Izzy came back. Credit as well to Mark Goddard for not stopping the fight. I mean, some referees would have, lost their cool and probably stopped the fight there. He didn't do that. Izzy survived, but clear win in the first round for Sean Strickland. Second round, a little bit closer. Izzy had kind of woken up, but I think if you look at the way that Strickland won that first round, I think he would have won it without dropping Izzy. And I think the pressure that he put on, for me, had him winning the round, but I can see consensus was that Izzy won that round. Rounds 3, 4, and 5, same story. Strickland just putting the pressure on him. Izzy just really couldn't get his rhythm. He was very flat-footed, always on the back foot. And I know that's worked for him before, but it's not the best style in MMA. And I'm not saying this because it's easy to say this now at the end, because, again, it has worked for Izzy. But if someone's not pressuring forward and engaging you a whole lot with a whole lot of punches, it doesn't leave you time to counterpunch. Look at Yoel Romero. The same thing happened. Sort of in the Anderson Silva fight, it happened as well. Can make the fight appear boring. This fight was not boring. I was at the edge of my seat the whole time. I know I said I wouldn't watch the pay-per-view, but I was like, you know what, let me just watch this one. Let's just see how long it takes Izzy to win, and he didn't. In boxing, that counter-striking works. Floyd Mayweather's made a whole career of it, sitting back and counter-punching. But Floyd Mayweather at the same time did stat pad, because a lot of fights you'd look at Floyd Mayweather, you look at the significant strikes, and Floyd Mayweather would be miles ahead, but you'd look at the two fighters, and the other guy didn't even have a scratch on his face. And a lot of people would say, but it's boring because Floyd Mayweather just ran away. Same thing with MMA. That's why I never look at the significant strikes. I look at the fight as a whole. Who, when I look at the fight, looks like they won the fight to me. Significant strikes aside is the best way to look at it, because you look at this fight, I think Izzy might even have had more significant strikes in round 3, possibly round 4, I forget. I didn't look because I don't care about significant strikes that much unless they mean something. But if you look at Izzy's face versus Strickland's face, you would never be able to tell me that there were more significant strikes landed by Izzy. This is so interesting on so many levels now, because what happens for the title picture? I think they do the immediate rematch. Izzy's a long-time champion. Izzy gets what Izzy wants. He probably throw his toys out of his cart and say, I've been a long-time champion, this, that. I'm gonna get an immediate rematch. And Dana will probably grant it to him because he's got the most followers. He's the biggest star in UFC. Him or John Jones. That probably happened. So now there were a whole bunch of talks about who's going to fight Izzy next. Is it going to be Dricus or is it going to be Hamzat Paulo Costa's winner? The winner now of that fight will probably fight Dricus over a number 1 contendership. So now Dricus has been told number 1 contender against Robert Whittaker. This happens. Now he's going to fight for another number 1 contendership match. Probably. Maybe Strickland calls out Hamzat. Maybe Strickland calls out Dricus. Maybe Strickland calls the shots. Who knows? This is very, very interesting. That's why I think, being a promoter in MMA, you always win. There's a no loss situation now here for the UFC, because they make the rematch. Izzy wins, longtime champion regains his belt again. That's a great story. Then now goes and fights Dricus like they would have. Or the longtime champ has been dethroned, not going to fight for a title again unless he beats one of the other number 1 contenders. So win-win. But congratulations to Sean Strickland. Biggest upset in UFC history. I feel bigger than Matt Serra versus GSP, because GSP had not been on his tear just yet. Israel Adesanya had how many title defenses? I think it was like 10 or 8 or something like that. I stand corrected. And Strickland went and beat him minus 675 underdog on the odds. Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm, not as big. A lot of people expected Holly Holm to win that one because of her striking, and Ronda Rousey striking not being that good, nobody gave Sean Strickland a chance, including myself, including the pundits, including anyone I've seen. One person did comment, I'll see if I can put it up on the screen on my Facebook, and said, what if? And I was like, nah, it happened. It happened. What happens next? We'll see. But congratulations, Sean Strickland. I apologize. I gave you no chance. You went out and shocked the world, and enjoy it.